Hello YouTubers, this is cessnaace back again with another video. Sorry that it has been 2 weeks since my last video. However, in the interim, the time between my last video and this video, I fell and re-injured my spine. So I have been immobile due to the pain. Now, last night I did some work on my channel. I had a playlist of ABBA performances but I had deleted that entire playlist because several of the videos have been taken down by YouTube. However, last night I started rebuilding it and I managed to get 20 in there before the pain got too intense. Now, at the end of this video, I am going to be fulfilling a request made by a viewer. He posted a request in the comment section. The viewer in question is Indie Phantom. So I will be fulfilling his request at the end, and I will be going over some stats on my collection. Now, over the past 2 weeks, I've received a package from Sinister Cinema and 2 packages from Something Weird Video. I'm saving the Sinister Cinema DVDs for later, for an extravaganza, because I have a package that is shipped that contains 12 more. Alright, we start off with something from Something Weird Video, as I'm showing these in alphabetical order. This is one of their releases that was made in conjunction with, or cooperation with, whatever, however you want to put that, Image Entertainment. This is a Betty Page double feature, Verities, and the ultra rare color Teaserama. These are both filmed burlesque shows. Now, as is the case with all collaborative efforts between Image Entertainment and Something Weird Video, this contains a number of extras. Audio commentary for both features by producer David F. Freeman, who I believe passed away not too long ago. Original theatrical trailers. Betty Page speaks and takes a bubble bath in 2 scenes from the ultra rare color burlesque feature Strip-O-Rama. Warning, this program contains mild nudity. This is an NTSC and it is region encoded for region 1, because the collaborative efforts between Something Weird Video and Image Entertainment do not use DVD-Rs. They use standard DVDs and Blu-rays. Speaking of their DVD-Rs, I placed an order for one. This is A Candidate for a Killing. This is an Italian-Spanish co-production. Now, sadly, this is the last year that Something Weird Video is going to be offering any of their titles in the DVD-R format. They are going to continue working to restore the films that they have for Blu-ray and traditional DVD releases. And what they don't offer for those formats will be available on their streaming service at their website. In fact, they're already available there for streaming. I purchased this because it features in the cast Anita Ekberg. This is catalog number 36583. Nothing there. Okay. The live-action animation hybrid that came out several years ago, Casper, I didn't really care for it. It had 2 direct-to-DVD sequels, and this is one of them. I thought I would give it a try. This features Hilary Duff in the cast. Casper meets Wendy. I picked this up in the bargain bin at Walmart, the $5 bin. They also have a $3.77 bin or whatever it is, $3.79 or $3.49. I can never remember. Anyway, this features in the cast Kathy Moriarty and Shelley Duvall and Terry Garr. So an interesting cast. This is from Full Moon Entertainment. Cinderella. Yes, I ordered this one online. I didn't get it at Walmart. This is release WE00878, Full Moon number 3. Okay, I picked this up several years ago, and it's used, but shrink wrapped. But it's been so long ago that the store that I bought it from has changed names. This is Fantastic Four Rise of the Silver Surfer 2-disc set. This is the Power Cosmic Edition. Disc 1 has the film in both widescreen and full screen versions and several commentary tracks. And then the rest of the extras are on disc 2. Now, the store I bought this from was at the time known as Winn-Dixie. It is now known as Harvey's. Some of the Winn-Dixies are known as Harvey's because some of them are still known as Winn-Dixie. Anyway, Father Brown. Those of you who are familiar with the current Father Brown ongoing series, can't remember the actor's name, but he starred in the Harry Potter films playing Ron Weasley's father. He plays Father Brown in the ongoing series. It is currently ongoing. I believe it's still ongoing. Anyway, we also have a Father Brown television series from either the 70s or the 80s that starred Kenneth Moore in the title role. Now, he was already familiar to me. I've got a fantasy film that he's in, but also he played Lightoller in the Titanic docudrama A Night to Remember, which at the time it came out was the most expensive British film ever made. And it is, in my opinion, better than the James Cameron version because there's no sappy love story or anything interjected into it. It's just a telling of what happened. And unlike Titanic, it also shows what's going on the Californian and the Carpathia. So I love that film, A Night to Remember. Anyway, this is a feature film of Father Brown starring Alec Guinness as Father Brown. This film was released theatrically in the U.S. as The Detective. Now, this is a UK release. It is in PAL standard, region encoded for regions 2 and 4. I have a few of those that are region encoded for 2 and 4, 2 being Europe and 4 being Australia. Let's say rental or resale. Hey, usually they say not for resale or not for rental. It says rental or resale. Okay, enough of that. Okay, another one of these releases from Shameless Screen Entertainment. First time on DVD worldwide. This, of course, being Shameless, is a UK release. Footprints on the Moon, aka La Worm, which I assume is French for the moon. Shameless rebuild edit of the film, optional English and Italian audio and subtitles, promotional archive, image gallery, and original trailers. 20 Shameless trailers. This is, after all, Shameless release 20. It says so right on the spine. Right there. Probably can't make it out. However, I have releases to go much higher than that. In fact, I think the earliest Shameless release that I have on DVD is 8. Okay, another release from Image Entertainment and Something Weird Video. This is Golden Girl double feature starring Rue McClanahan. Bet you didn't know that before the Golden Girls, she starred in some exploitation films. The Rotten Apple and Hollywood After Dark are the two on here. On the top it says, Two with Rue. Now, this is also available, Something Weird on demand, and chillertheater.com. This is release ID 3173 SWDVD. That is a Sinister Cinema. That is an Image Entertainment catalog number. Now, I'm anxious to watch this series. It's from the 60s because it is a spin-off of an excellent series from the 60s called Burke's Law. Now, Burke's Law, it is notable for the number of stars that were both rising and falling in some current, appearing on the show, and sometimes in multiple roles, and sometimes multiple times in different roles. Just with Gilligan's Island alone, their cast, you had Tina Louise, Ginger, appeared in an episode. I think she was in 2 episodes. And Dawn Wells, Mary Ann, was in an episode. Jim Backus, Mr. Howe, was, I believe, in 2 episodes. And you even had Elizabeth Montgomery, Samantha from Bewitched. She was in 2 episodes and playing a different character each time. Carolyn Jones, who played Morticia Addams on the 60s sitcom The Addams Family, she was in 2 separate episodes, and in one of those episodes she played 4 different characters. Anyway, I highly recommend Burke's Law. This was a spin-off from Burke's Law, Honey West. Unfortunately, Honey West was ahead of its time because she was a very strong person. In fact, for a woman of that time, I'm not wording that correctly. The way women were depicted in the 60s, this was quite an advance forward. She knew martial arts, and she knew how to use a weapon, multiple weapons, and she is the only person to ever outwit Burke from Burke's Law. This was from the same production company, Aaron Spelling's production company to be more precise. This has 30 episodes on DVD. Now, in the 60s, there was, in the late 50s too, there was only one woman director, one female director, but she was directing for just about every television series that was filmed that you can think of. And who I'm talking about is, let's see here, she flew out of my mind, Ida Lupino. She's one of the listed directors. Thomas Carr, Bill Calloran, John, well, I don't need to go over the whole list, but Ida Lupino. She also directed an episode of Gilligan's Island. Anyway, so did Richard Donner, by the way. This is from VCI Entertainment. Okay, another one of these dollar specials. This is The Gnomes, The Great Adventure. I haven't looked it up on IMDb yet, but it's not from Mondo TV, so I don't know if it's Italian or not. It is from BRB International. It's hard to make out through the shrink wrap. Catalog number CARBRB-11. Yes, it's from TurboLabs LLC. Okay, another excellent series. So far I've only seen series 1, or season 1. I went British on you, sorry about that. Well, not all that sorry, actually. The Invaders was a science fiction series in the 60s. And it was, what was odd about it was that it was produced by Quinn Martin. Quinn Martin specialized in producing cop shows. A Quinn Martin production. I'm talking about The Invaders. This is the second season, and I haven't opened it yet. I've already seen all of season 1, and I wanted to watch season 1 before I got to season 2, because, well, I wanted season 2 because it has Dawn Wells in one of the episodes. And I've already seen several major stars in the first season, including Jack Lord from Hawaii Five-0. A year before a year or two, not much more than that, before he starred in Hawaii Five-0. The Invaders. Brand new episodic intros by Roy Tennis. Commentary on The Peacemaker by Alan Armour. Brand new interview with Roy Tennis. You never know, watching an episode, who is going to turn out to be not human, but an invader. There's only one way you can tell an invader, an alien invader, from a human. It's their hands. They don't quite have the hands down. Hands down. They don't quite have the hands down. So you might be introduced to a character and get involved with that character and come to really care for that character, only to have that character turn out to be on the wrong side of things. Cool series. And as I understand it, The Invaders is quite popular in France. At least at one time it was. I've even read that they would book theaters or cinemas in France, fans, to screen episodes of The Invaders. Okay, this is from Mondo TV. It is Jurassic Cubs. This includes 4 episodes. Episodes 1, 2, 3, 4. By the way, Burke's Law, I didn't mention one of the stars that appears in at least one episode. Terry Thomas. Alright, this is Jurassic Cubs Treasure Island. 4 episodes, not numbered. But I know that initially the series was produced in 2008, and then there were another batch made in 2011. I don't know which batch this falls in. Okay, another Mondo TV production, The Last of the Mohicans. Summer. This contains 2 episodes, episodes 5 and 6. Now, in anticipation of the upcoming release from Disney of Mulan, the live-action remake of the animated original, Did you know that just a year or two ago, the Chinese made their own version, live-action version of Mulan? This is also known in some countries as Mulan Rise of a Warrior, which is how it's listed on this DVD cover. Okay, another shameless release. I'm fairly certain this was banned in England in circa 84 or so as a video nasty. I know Driller Killer was. So this one probably was if it was released theatrically there. This is My Dear Killer, also known as Mayakara Assassinero. Don't go by me, I don't have a head for languages. Okay, classic film. Patton with George C. Scott. Picked this up at Cracker Barrel. Now, this was directed by Franklin J. Schaffner, and what's amazing about the fact that he directed such an amazing war film, which is both loved by hawks as well as doves. Anyway, the film that he directed just prior to this one was the original Planet of the Apes with Charlton Heston, which in its own right was a very good movie, but it was quite different. Patton. Okay, I've mentioned in the past that I'm a fan of Merle Oberon, and this features her in the cast. The Price of Fear. I believe the last one I showed that had her in the cast was Dark Waters. This is from the Turner Classic Movies collection. So it says so on the back. But also Universal's logo is back here also. Anamorphic widescreen. Aspect ratio is 2.0021, which is fairly wide. Double feature, which takes me back to my childhood. This is a double feature of Charlie Brown films. Race for Your Life, Charlie Brown, and Bon Voyage, Charlie Brown, and Don't Come Back. That's the full title. I remember my mom dropping me off to see a Charlie Brown animated film when I was 10 or 11. I don't remember exactly how old I was, but that was the one with the spelling bee in it. Okay. This is a remake, but before I show you the remake, I'm going to show you the first filmed adaptation that I have of this story. This is from 1969, 1970, somewhere around there. Stars Dinah Sheridan, Jenny Agutter, Bernard Cribbins, William Mervyn, Sally Thompson, and Gary Warren. Now, I like Jenny Agutter, can't talk, but I'm a big Sally Thompson fan, and she has friended me on Facebook and on Twitter, and she personally autographed a whole slew of titles that I purchased from Amazon UK and then shipped to her agent, which then her PA picked up and sent to her, and then she autographed them and then took them back to her agent. It was a whole convoluted thing, but after about the third package, I always included her favorite perfume that I got off of her wish list at Amazon. I always sent her a bottle of that stuff, and as I mentioned to her, she doesn't have inexpensive tastes. But finally, she got back in touch with me and said, Mark, if you ever want me to sign anything else, I have another address I can give you where things will go directly to me instead of going through my agent. So really cool, The Railway Children. And this was directed by Lionel Jeffries, who's known by most Americans as a comedic actor, but he was also a director. The Railway Children. This is a classic film, and this was not the first adaptation that Jenny Agutter was in. She had appeared in something like 4 different BBC adaptations of it before it was made into this film. Now, speaking of Jenny Agutter, she appears in this version from 1999. However, instead of playing one of the daughters, in this, I believe she plays the mother. TV movie, British TV movie from 1999 or 2000, somewhere around there. Region encoded for Region 2. Okay, getting near the end. A Wes Craven film by the name of Red Eye. A killer of a thriller. And then finally from Blue Sky, which is 20th Century Fox's animation division. Did I show this already, or did I show a different Blue Sky film in a different video? It seems like I'm experiencing deja vu. This is Rio 2, and I've never seen the first one. Okay, now we're at the end. So what Indie Phantom wanted to see was an example of one of my full index cards for my titles. I've shown in the past the cards that I put inside the cases that only have bare bones information. I have a lot more information that I put on the cards that aren't kept with the videos and are in their own separate section, filing system. Okay, this is the Hong Kong film Royal Warriors, also known as In the Line of Duty. You can see there that in addition to that, I've also listed that it is in the Laserdisc format in CLV mode, published by Tai Sang Video Marketing. Catalog number 56326, standard NTSC, widescreen, and then the dates that I have watched it. Now, some of the cards that I do have an asterisk up here. That simply means that I have watched the video 10 times or more. I came upon that number early on, we're talking late 70s, as a way to denote whether the film, whether it was justified that I purchased the video rather than renting it, say 8 times or 9 times or 10 times, because back then videos were expensive. A typical VHS or Betamax release, well, if it was a catalog title that is ancient, they were typically around $60, 60. If they were a new release, they were typically $90 to $99, $95, unless you count Star Wars, which was $120. Although once they sold all of the copies they thought they were going to sell, or were likely to sell in VHS and Betamax on that initial release, they then released it for Laserdisc at $34.95, because the Laserdisc format is not copy protected. Now, as I believe I mentioned in a previous video, I have been redoing all of these cards. using micron pens. I should have pulled a micron pen. Anyway, my wife uses them in creative memories with her scrapbooking. As of the end of last week, I have redone 502. So far this week, I have done 22. I also keep track of the views as I'm doing this, total views. You know, let's see the number of times that was viewed. I count those, and so far 711 views out of those 502 videos, 16 of which had an asterisk up in the corner. Now, I have broken these down by format. I'm keeping track as I'm doing them. So far, I have done 243 DVDs, 138 VHS tapes, 97 Laserdiscs, and if you go to the Laserdisc database, you know that I have over 1,500 Laserdiscs, 8 Blu-rays, 5 Betamax tapes, I still have a ton that I haven't done, 4 UMDs, those are optical discs that are for play in a PlayStation Portable. I've done 4 so far. VHDs, a format, video disc format that was only released in Japan. So far I have done 3, but I have a lot more to get to. CED format, only released in the US and the UK. I've only done 2 so far, but I have a lot more. Video 2000, a video cassette format that was only released in Europe, and I've only done 2, but I've got a lot more than that. And VCDs, video compact discs, I have done 3 so far. Now, I've only scratched the surface, I know, with most of these formats. VHS, I know I have over 800, and I've got these photo boxes. Each one has 10 tapes in it, and I've got 4 stacks totaling over 40 boxes, and then I've got these shelving units that are all full of tapes. So I have a long ways to go on those. And the VCDs, there was a channel, I'm not going to mention the name of it because it may not, I don't think it still exists. That's why I'm not going to mention it. But I had done a video on the VCD format. And so one of my viewers contacted me and said that he had a lot of VCDs that he had no interest in. These weren't pirated copies or anything. These were legitimate commercial releases, most from Hong Kong and Malaysia, but some from Singapore and some other places too. In total, he sent me over 150. So that number that I quoted of 3, I've only barely scratched the surface with those. So, all right, now I'm going to shout out Mark McElligott and Andrew J.M. And if you would please consider posting a comment. That helps with YouTube's algorithm, as well as voting. It doesn't really matter to YouTube whether you vote up or down. It still helps the algorithm either way, but a thumbs up would be appreciated by me. And if you haven't already subscribed, please consider doing so. And if you're not a Patreon supporter yet, please consider doing that. It only costs as little as $1 a month, and that unlocks all of my posts. I haven't been posting as much lately because of health problems, but hopefully I will be posting more. I will tell you that in addition to that package that I've got coming from Sinister Cinema of 12 DVDs, I've got a package that has already shipped from Things from Another World. Now, as it stands, I have 3 large packages of comics and graphic novels and digests and the like, over $1,000 worth, that I still haven't opened because my wife still hasn't designated the area, or I don't want to use the word reformatted. She's reorganizing the living room, and so she doesn't have yet her table that she uses for creative memories up yet, and that's what I use when I sort comics. So until next time, stay awesome.